Hi guys, this is Tuti Gogia. In case you are listening this voice for the very first time, you can go check out my social media handles. And this is season 2 of Stuti Speaks. And up tak aapko pata chal gaya hoga that this is all about my guest. So today I have a very special guest with me whose name is Rinku Bhardwaj. And I'll mostly call her ma'am throughout because of the respect I feel for her. And she was one of the women leaders, the delivery head with organization in which I was previously working. I mean, she was a person who I used to look up to, and I think we had a good time. I really had a good time learning from her. So I will pass on to her so that she can give a brief detail about her corporate journey, and we can take it from there. And now, how you're working regarding your consulting firm and mentoring so many people, especially women and girls. So I would want to pass it over to you, ma'am. Yeah, let's start with your introduction first.
So first of all, thank you, Stuti, for considering me for your podcast. I've been listening to it, and it's a wonderful job that you're doing. So, like you said, yes, we've worked together. Like you saw a spark in me, I also besides your curly hair and that appearance that you had, uh, the book that you wrote and everything, the whole journey I've been following very closely. So I'm really inspired to hear, but you guys have been very kind to tell me that I'm an idol. Um, um, I try to do a decent job. Anyhow, so thank you so much for all the respect and everything, but you can do with Rinku. I'm fine with that. uh, about my introduction, well, I am almost completing I will almost be celebrating my golden birthday. So that's hitting me hard right now. But talking about my corporate experience or professional experience, 20 years I was with corporate, like Satish shared. After that, I left my job in 2015 and started on an own personal journey. This journey was more, I would say, I was exploring, uh, and it was very different, and we'll talk about it maybe. But just to keep it short, the last 7 years have been very, very interesting for me in the sense I've done everything that I wanted to do in small, different ways. So I started with freelancing, which is 2016. I did my spiritual also fulfillment during that time. I did a couple of projects here and there, and then with a great dear friend of mine, I started with a consulting firm in a very new space, which was customer experience and very upcoming and progressive space that is in. So I think that's something that I did, and I also started meanwhile while I was trying to see what I can do professionally. I had a lot of you know I'd like to call myself a problem solver. So I think, and people with problems, they automatically come towards me, and I think that led me to explore a specific career in career counseling.
Hmm.
And I call it career counseling because I got attached with two firms, and they were into career counseling of school students.
Oh.
This middle school to senior school, where they're exploring about what colleges they should go and what subjects they should choose. And that gave me a lot of satisfaction and a lot of happiness while helping kids and their parents travel their journey. Doing that, I also had a lot of kids and a lot of young professionals like you coming to me and then talking about their problems, and that's how I started on my career coaching. But career coaching is more of my passion, but I take customer experience more as my professional and more serious business. But this career coaching is more of passion and happiness that I follow. Besides that, I'm mother of two. I have a husband. My elder daughter is almost settled. She has started her working journey just recently. My younger one is just starting her senior school. So the life is very busy with two
Hmm.
girls and
Hmm.
family and work.
Hmm. Hmm.
But so far, so good.
Yeah. So Abhiyam will talk like one by one. Firstly, let's talk about your overall 20 years of corporate experience. Basically, I want to talk about how was you being like, how was your journey being a women leader? See, I'm also in corporate, and at a
Yeah.
certain point, there are less gender wise. If we do the mismatch colors, so there is like it's like 70-30 or 60-40. So being a woman leader first is tough, especially in a country like India. I'm not saying India is not progressive, it
Mhm.
is, and it is being more, but then at the same time we know that there has been gender inequalities. So how was your journey being a women leader, and how you evolved during your journey, and then we'll
Sure.
go to the consulting part. Yeah.
Sure. So I think there's a slight difference in when we started. So I started my work career in 1996, right?
Oh.
When I started off, I think at that time, in those times, I'm saying in those times because time is really changing very fast. And I know at that time, all that we had in mind, especially for me, it was to be self-reliant and independent because I was to get married too. I was
Hmm.
very sure that it wasn't that I had to decide when I'm going to get married. I had to be married in a couple of years. In fact, 96 is the year when I got married. So it was very close for me. So the whole idea was to be self-reliant and independent. That's the kick that we had at that time because it was not given and guaranteed for us. So I for sure started from there and just my skills then. Skills were not great. I was a graduate in biology and I was an IT student. So from that, I took an advantage of Y2K because a lot of IT happened in those days. So that's where my generation took an advantage. Who was little more smart and were opportunistic, we got our chances. And I
Hmm.
took hold on that chance. I think in my mind, I never felt that I was a woman or I was a girl. My
Hmm.
whole focus was that I had to be working, I have to be independent and financially secured. At the same time, and I think what came into my aid was my hard work and my, I think, just resilience and belief in myself that I can do whatever is
Hmm.
thrown on me. So I think learning ability and the agility to be adaptable to new domains, because I change my domains pretty fast. Every 2 years, I was changing my domain from navigation systems, that is GPS, to this US benefits, to hardcore software development. There were a lot of different domains that I worked in. So I think being fearless came into my aid,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
in my mind, I was always independent and
Hmm.
fearless. So
Hmm.
that came into play.
Hmm.
Uh, Being in the hardcore MNC culture, we got the advantage of little more liberal environment. So
Hmm.
I was lucky to be part of the MNCs. Our teams, our managers, our leadership was also such. Especially, there were a couple of companies where our HR was very strong. So
Hmm.
I personally did not feel too much of gender bias. What I definitely experienced was the conflict with what I am as a person and how people perceived um, the the person on the other side as a leader.
Hmm.
So, if you know me well, I'm a very open, approachable. I
Yeah.
don't move around in the office with high collars. I could joke around with anybody. I could take any jokes. People were very open, and we would have
Hmm.
fun. My whole
Hmm.
philosophy was that.
Hmm.
So I think that's something which I had to beat because, and plus being a woman, I was also very outspoken. Uh,
Hmm.
so I know a lot of my bosses said I'm a difficult work person because I would say how I feel it. I was very expressive about how I felt it.
Hmm.
So I think where I struggled was some stereotypes as a woman and
Hmm.
as stereotypes as a leader. Like
Hmm.
as a leader, you should walk in certain way, you should talk in certain way, you should be, following certain protocols. I did not do that. I was more free spirited,
Hmm.
um, and I was very adamant about it. At the
Hmm.
same time, as a woman stereotypes, I think it was about, oh, you have kids, maybe
Hmm.
you want to go early.
Hmm.
So there were a couple of opportunities which I missed because of that.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
when I was expecting my second child, I was
Hmm.
full on and I was expecting a promotion and there was internal job opportunities happening. So I
Hmm.
had to keep it under the cover till the time I really
Hmm.
cleared my IGP because I wasn't sure. So there were
Hmm.
little things here and there, and plus maintaining the child and work-life balance at that moment. It was
Hmm.
slightly challenging there. But otherwise, as a woman, in my mind, I think it is all about what you
Mind
feel.
blockages.
So I did not feel we didn't have so many conversations around gender biases at that moment.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because the MNC culture was new, so more conversations was about intercultural adaptation,
Okay.
how globally you're going to work, what systems
Hmm.
you're going to use.
Hmm.
But the companies that I worked, we had quite a good representation of women leaders.
Hmm. And you are like you are and you were an amazing leader for sure. I
Thank
actually
you.
had a very good time learning a lot from you. Plus the thing that you said, we are fearless, Wali. I strongly feel that you have that in you. And
Yeah.
approachable also. I think that's one of the things people say that a leader should not be approachable. Like
Mm.
MBA terms mate says that the leader should not. But I think it's personally good if a leader is approachable, and so that, I mean, there is a bond, humanistic bond also created being like along with work. So
Yeah.
I would also appreciate about that, like about you. So, and now coming to the second part of your journey, which is like you 20 plus years worked in corporate, and I'm
Hmm.
sure that must have helped you in kickstarting your
Yeah.
second league, which I would say, which is consulting, right?
Yeah.
So how was that switch, and how do you think? The thing I want to ask is, it's not basically corporate or consulting related. My question would be, how different it is to work for someone else, obviously a big organization, and then working by your own. So I want to know that
Sure.
personally, at somehow at my level as well, because maybe in
Understood.
another 5 years I want to do something like that. So how was that for you?
Yeah. So first, I'll answer your first part of the
Yeah.
question, which is how was the shift?
Hmm.
So honestly, I overestimated. I thought leaving the job is easy. I've done my bit. Now I'll be sitting at home doing my things. Free will be in place, and I'll be this happy soul. But in 3 weeks, I finished with all my Netflix binge watch and all my luxury that I thought I will do. And I started missing because all that I had done in my growing up, I got married. I mean, I started my working at 23 years of age,
Yeah.
and I was married at the similar age. So my whole last 20, 22 years were spent just working, coming back home, taking care of the house, whichever ways I could, bringing up kids. So I was very, very busy and occupied. There was no time to think. And now I was left on my own self because my kids were at school, my husband was at work, I was at home, not knowing what to do. So I think that led me to a deep dive wherein I started my spiritual awakening. I started following some meditation. I joined some sanghas, followed Isha Foundation. I started doing those practices and gave me a lot
Wow.
of clarity. But the thing that came to my help was journaling. So I started journaling and writing, as in what I need to do and what is my mind telling me. And that's where I got to realize my strengths. That what are my strengths? Because there was a time when I thought, what did I gain? I did not achieve any qualification in my 20 years. I'm not with a job. I'm getting older. There's no place for me in the corporate world anymore. What will I do? So I sat back and I started writing. And what came out was that definitely interpersonal skills is something which I could validate. The other thing was my client relationships were very strong, and business operations and processes were my strength. So last gig that I did was business excellence senior director, wherein I did a lot of operational efficiency projects. So those were the 3, 4 things that were coming out. So I started opening my channel with my network, with my friends, and started talking to them. Couple of networks they opened up to me, and I started my first project. And couple of projects that I did, one of those projects led me to customer experience as a domain, which was again very interesting. And there I met another soul, which is my partner in Guava Consulting Services. She was also my fellow, uh, freelancer in that particular contract. We did a project together, and she actually motivated me to start a firm of my own. So I was like, no, no, yaar, I'm not a business person. I will still figure out. And I was already doing career counseling. But then I think she had some faith in me, and she's a great academician. She's a researcher. So I said, okay, I can bring in operation. Let's do something. So we started it off as a fun. And
Hmm.
we made our mind very clear that both of us were not running behind money and we were not wanting to create a big enterprise. We were very modest in the fact that we said we want to do good projects, but to brand it, we will create this company. So it was a proprietor firm that we started. We never made it a private limited or in a different firm. So that's how we started, and that's where my freelancing journey began. It was very struggleful. It was not easy because the whole shift from full time corporate to this was very different. The key difference is we come to the second part, which is what are the differences. I think my corporate journey was very mindlessly driven.
Hmm.
I was very mindless in my journey in corporate because I just came to work, I did my bit, I came back home. I didn't think about too much about my growth, and things just happened to me, I think. Um, but I think in my freelancing journey, I was doing things very mindfully and consciously.
Hmm.
So I was
Hmm.
very aware.
Can I like stop you a bit? Sorry, I don't want
Yeah,
you to cut you off. But being like spirituality, I'm too much into spirituality
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Do you think the difference came in because you did that spiritual break, or
yes.
it came in as a natural? And I'm really sorry to cut you off
No,
again,
no,
but I was
that's
not able
okay.
to stop myself.
No, no,
So
that's
yeah,
okay.
do you think the difference was because of that, or it was because you were doing by your own? Because I personally think that journaling and whatever you told must have helped you to be more aware in general, rather than I
Yeah,
mean, towards the consulting on something else. Yeah, go
yes.
ahead.
So I think everything comes together. If
Okay.
you talk to me as a person, as a child also, I was very deep into thinking. I
Hmm.
always wanted to talk, tell stories, listen to stories, observe people, be curious about people, life in general, get attached to the weather at times. There were times I remember as a child when I would just sit on my terrace in my house and be there, and spend time. So I think I was always a deeper person, I think, and I was cut out little differently and way ahead of my times, I think, because I was very open about, now what we talk about inclusion, of all kind of genders. So I did not have strong opinions about anything. Um, so I think that was the beginning, that was my base. And I always followed yoga in a way. My mother is a yoga teacher, so I followed her.
Wow.
I would like to take those practices. Um, but I never did follow anything spiritually. Or rituals were not my thing. Like I wouldn't do puja or I wouldn't think of a idol. Like when I got married, my father-in-law asked me, "Who do you pray?" I said, "I don't pray anyone." So, and my husband's family comes from a very strong ritual background. So they're very, mandir wale log. They go to mandir, they do puja, they do vrat and all. I was not that, but he understood that. But where I came from, I think when this corporate journey definitely helped me also be aware. All that I did in corporate journey and when I started journaling, it was all coming from that experience.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I will not disregard it, but spirituality just came to me. So it started with, so I was with another friend of mine. I started my meditation journey because I was
Hmm.
aware, I was quiet, and we do a lot of deep thinking. She's also my ex colleague and my great peer. She was, but she left earlier than me, and then two of us would meet and we will talk about so much stuff. And she was part of a sangha, so I joined her with a sangha.
Hmm.
I was fond of writing, so I started literature. I started going to a literature group wherein we would do. A lot of us would meet and write. So meeting these different kind of people, doing this sangha, and then Isha inner engineering course just came to me. It was in one of my mailboxes, and I opened it and I called them up, and I went and visited ashram. That was quite life changing because those 7 days I never ever done a solo trip. So that is when
Hmm.
I also got aware and got a lot of calm and composure that it's okay, we don't have to run around too much. That's how my spirituality came in. But I think you're like, when I look at you, I think there are people, I think spirituality always comes to you.
True
You
that.
don't have to chase it. If you chase, it doesn't
Come.
take you anywhere.
Sure. True. So
So
true.
Isha is something which I practice. I am
Hmm.
not still a very, I won't say I'm a very disciplined person to that, but I still try and follow. It's always there in my back of. That is
Hmm.
something which has stayed with me. So I still
Hmm.
do my kriyas and I still do my meditation. I believe in meditation. I did a lot of healing. Like I got healed in so many healing aspects. So I think this was a process of being aware of
Hmm.
yourself
So
and
true.
knowing where you're damaged, knowing what hurts you, knowing where you need the healing part. So I went through a past life regression
Wow.
process, a workshop. I did a lot of my friends who that. I Sangha of Tikkan. That's where I got meditation, eating meditation, silent meditation. I did a program of a deeper meditation in Isha Ashram, which was Bhavaspandana, a very regressive and very, aggressive meditation program for 3 4 days, which I did. So I think a lot of things that I explored and I just I accepted it. I think I'm a very open person. I like to learn and explore and
Hmm.
experience different things.
Hmm. So yeah, so I mean, obviously, the thing that you're saying that it came for corporate, but yeah, the spiritually amplified it, and that's how
Yeah.
you gave it. And why the thing that you're saying, the healing is, I think, the most important part. Most of our life, हमें पता नहीं होता हमारे triggers क्या हैं. Like we are being triggered,
Yes.
we are unhealed, we are wounded, and
Yes.
हमें लग रहा होता है this is very natural. ये तो हो रहा है, हमें तो गुस्सा आ जाता है, हमारे लिए तो कोई
Mhm.
problem नहीं है.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually we are unhealed, and we हमें बस अपने triggers नहीं पता होते. The
Exactly.
time we start doing meditation and the spiritual practicing, and it's great that you have done a PLR too, which is
Yeah.
also very great. Like I'm into
Mhm.
all this stuff now, so I know the Reiki and the healing and everything
Hmm.
about it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
when you start knowing about yourself, तो आपको अपनी, you start to know your strength and you basically accept your shadow. And I
Yes.
think that's the most important thing. The for
Yeah.
most of our life हम अपनी shadow को accept ही नहीं कर रहे होते. We think that's a
You know,
different journey. Yeah.
what happened with me? The biggest challenge that I had to face when I was as a child only. I always wanted. I knew that I was from a middle class family, so I'll get married.
Hmm.
My father has 3 daughters. I'm the
Hmm.
second one. So we had to get married at an early age. So 23 was my age in my mind. Very
Hmm.
funny. Now
Hmm.
kids don't. My elder daughter is 23. so, so I think the biggest challenge that I faced was that I always felt I had to be working,
Hmm.
and I had to be working one because somewhere deep down there was this boy versus girl thing, not in my family that I felt, but around, you know, because my father has three daughters and he had one son. So we could hear from the extended family things. And as a child, I was a rebel also, like I wanted to do
Hmm.
things differently. I was a different child altogether. So my entire self worth was around me working and the salary that I was bringing back
Earning.
home.
Hmm. Hmm.
And fortunately, I never imagined that I'll be taking a corner office or I'll do so well. I
Hmm.
wasn't planful in my career, so to say.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, like I
Hmm.
said, I was very mindless in my career path. But then when I left the job, that's where it hurt me most. It still
Hmm.
hurts sometimes. I haven't completely healed from it. But my
Hmm.
whole self worth was around the salary that I'm bringing home.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there was a time when, even for a cup of coffee, when I had to go out, while I
Hmm.
had earned enough to have good savings, my husband earns well,
Hmm.
there was no reason for me to be disturbed for a cup of coffee, but it would be tough for me to spend that money on myself.
Hmm.
So actually, for 3, 4 years, I completely cut down on my own expenses.
Hmm. Hmm.
In my mentally, I was finding it, and that was again catching up on me because I was in a cyclical process. I
Hmm.
am for I wasn't feeling worthy enough because I was not earning and not contributing actively
Hmm.
financially. And then I was, to compensate it, I was cutting down on my
Hmm.
expenses, on my self-indulgence, or
I
luxuries.
got it. Hmm.
And that would bring a change in life. That would put me at a back foot. And then I would again go back to the point, oh, I'm not earning, and so I'm in this state. So it was very cyclical. And that's where I started with my healing journey because I was
Hmm.
confused. What's happening? So all that
Hmm.
healing helped me understand that, so I had to work a lot on my self-worth. And I'm
Super.
still learning. I'm still
Hmm.
picking it up because I have to tell people that ek bari healing karane ka matlab, and you know that. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're healed.
No,
It's a
never.
very, it's a gradual and it's an
It's a gradual.
ongoing process.
Basically, healing occurs in a circle. Circle, so nahi,
Yeah.
the oval shaped circle. So every time the radius will be lesser. Like अगर आपको एक चीज अगर 10 level पे hurt करती थी, तो it will go to 8, 7, 6, 5 and eventually to 1. But it
Yeah.
will keep happening and वो
Yes.
radius कम होता जाएगा. It will eventually merge, but वो कम होने में it will keep coming back. And the
Yeah.
thing that you
Yeah.
were saying, it's basically our inner child issue. क्योंकि बचपन से ही वही
Yes.
सुना है. So you have that thing in mind. अब वो इतनी प्रोग्रामिंग हो गई है तो उसको इरेज करने में एटलीस्ट इफ
It
यू
takes
थिंक दैट
time.
दैट हैपेंड फॉर 30 years you will need at least 5 to 10 years to erase that down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Unlearn
Yeah.
करने में भी उतना टाइम लगेगा ना. तो
True.
anyways,
True.
yeah, I can completely, I mean, I can resonate on that.
But that's
Abhi,
what also drives me. So I try
yeah,
to help women who are on
yeah.
sabbatical.
Hmm.
Women on sabbatical, we call it a sabbatical even when we had to drop the job because of a child. Like we say, "Acha, I'm
Hmm.
sabbatical." That's not sabbatical. Sabbatical is temporary break that you take.
Hmm.
We actually drop everything to bring up a child, or for so many other reasons. But we are
Hmm.
shy of sharing things.
Hmm.
And I know there's so much of confusion, and I come from that experience, and
Hmm.
I got my own clarity. So just
Hmm.
finding a job will not give you a clarity.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I still struggle. I do want to go back to corporate life once,
Hmm.
give it a complete closure, because I
Hmm.
have so
Hmm.
many ideas that I'll go back, I'll work like that, and I'll work like this, I'll do these things differently.
Hmm.
But then the easier way or the better way for me is that I try and help and coach, guide youngsters
Yeah.
to tell them how they can be more mindful in their career path. Career path is not about a job. It's
Hmm.
not about one job that you get. Job is
Hmm.
just part of that. Career path is inclusive of so many other things. What kind of
Hmm.
job you're doing, what kind of people you're working with, who's your manager, that plays
Hmm.
a big role. Why are you working? Like, why do you have to earn? How much do you need to earn, and why do you have to earn so much?
Wow.
So all that comes into play. So that's
Hmm.
why I think so. A lot of kids come to me and they tell me, "Acha, ma'am, resume bana do, or help me guide, or I'm not finding a job." So when I try and tell them, it becomes a little stretch for them because they're in a rush to get a job.
Hmm.
But then I do things my way. I tell them that if it's just about a job, then I'm not going to help you because job hunt करने के लिए you have these platforms where you
Hmm.
can go or talk to a recruiter.
Hmm.
But career coaching is a different ball game altogether.
Hmm. That's, I think, so super deep. I think things sometimes happen for you for a bigger purpose. Maybe like you are saying, I want to go back to corporate for closer. I think maybe that happened because you have to help people in
Yeah,
this like of thing. Because हमें लगता है कि हमें शायद उसी से क्लोजर मिल जाएगा. Maybe when you are mentoring those 100 people and they are doing really good in their careers, they are coming back to you, then
yeah,
you think, I think that's a better journey, and that's for a
yes,
larger purpose.
yes.
So
हमें लगता है
again,
ना कि corporate में ना we come with so much of nonsense
हाँ.
already. Like
Hmm.
we enter thinking corporate में politics होता है.
Hmm.
Manager is going to judge me wrong. I
Hmm.
have to compete with everyone.
Hmm.
And especially now when you have to see so much is visible to you, there's so much of knowledge is there.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
आपके पास everything is available on a fingertip.
True,
The
true, true.
patience is gone, uncertainty has increased, competition is even more.
True that. So
So I think, and I tell my daughter also this, that all you have to work on, spend a lot of time in in managing your own self, in your
hmm.
inner world. You have to manage that. Everything else will work out. But it's very easy to be confused and get carried away with the outside world because work life may there's such fast paced,
Hmm.
and everybody is competitive. Like
Hmm.
everybody is scoring 100% marks. Everybody is doing graduation or post graduation from lovely colleges. They can speak so well. हमारे time पे होता था only few of us could speak well. Yeah, confidence, you know. Now
Hmm.
every other kid is confident.
Yeah, they are born
So
confident.
so yeah, where do you play? How do you set out or set apart, set yourself apart from others? That's where it is going to come into play. That can you sustain the pressure? Can you be
Hmm.
resilient in solving a problem? How creative you are? I think
Hmm.
these are the things that one needs to work on.
Hmm. Right. And I think the generation these days, like especially Gen Z and everything, I think your daughter must be of Gen Z only.
Yeah,
I mean, they are quick in changing. Like, I mean,
yeah,
they are not getting satisfaction, they'll change. Sometimes you have to play the balance as well. Sometimes we
yeah.
have to learn the things at the same place, try it more, and then people are like now so quick in leaving things as well. They are so quick in quitting as well, which we didn't हमें उस time option नहीं लगता था ना कि छोड़ भी सकते हैं.
Hmm.
So
नहीं,
that
but पता है
helps
की
somehow.
क्या है? The only
हाँ.
simplest way to understand this is do
Hmm.
everything with full awareness and mindfully.
True, so
Even
true.
if you're changing a job ना होता क्या
Right.
है कि we are like you said we will
Hmm.
change jobs, we'll hop jobs. I'm not
Hmm.
happy with the manager, I'm not happy with, I need work life balance, I want
Yeah.
to go to gym
Huh.
and not miss on that because health is important.
So
I
true.
have self love है, I
Hmm.
can't compromise, I have to do what I love, you know, I
Wow.
have to follow my passion. ये सारे sentiments है ना हम इतना पढ़ते हैं, every other reel is about it.
Yeah.
So what do? So the only way to do is whatever decisions you take. First of all, take decisions. If you look at my Instagram post, there are a lot about decisions that you want to take. So decision is a very we what are our choices or what decisions we take in the path, right? So decisions when you take, be very mindful of it. Be very aware of what you're deciding and why you are taking that step. So, for
Hmm.
example, even if you're changing a job, you say, I'm changing a job because really I'm in a need of money right now. Why do I need money? Because I need to support my family. Um, Even if not that, to be very on a very selfish level, I want to be ahead of my peers or my friends, right? So that could be
And
one
which is
big
a valid
reason,
reason, which is a
right?
very
So
valid reason. People are shy
yeah,
away in saying that.
yeah,
People are
because one of my friend got a job in Big Four company. I did not get in a Big Four. Now to beat her, I will definitely or beat him. I will definitely take something which is big packet, and then I'll give a call to that person and make sure, or I'll put a reel, or I'll put and show it to the world. Do everything and anything that you want to do, but do it with full awareness of why. Why do you have to do it with full awareness? So because when you look back on the journey, you do not एक तो ये है कि when you will pause to think why you're doing it, you might change the decision or you might think differently. So it gives you time. It's not an impulsive action. दूसरा, it will never let you feel bad about the decision because you know अच्छा मैंने किया था उस टाइम पे मैंने इसलिए किया था. Fine, there's a little hurt there, but it's okay because decisions can go wrong, right? There's no guarantee, but at least you took the decision with the full knowledge of why you're taking that decision. That's important.
wow. Yeah, and it's like basically responding and not reacting, and that's what comes with
Yes.
awareness only.
Yeah.
Reaction would be, and I think it's fine, even if like at 24 अगर मेरे को ये करना भी था कि मेरे को किसी से ज़्यादा पैसे चाहिए या फिर मेरे को किसी को दिखाना है that I'm working in, and that's okay. 24 में आपकी need वो हो
Yeah.
सकती है.
Yeah.
Maybe that does not remain in 34 or 44, which is okay. That's the process of growth. But I think the thing that you said, it the question is necessary कि अभी मुझे change करनी है because हाँ मुझे शाम को जिम जाना है एंड ये कंपनी में मुझे 8 बजे तक काम करना पड़ता है एंड विच इज फाइन, हेल्थी से आप
Yeah.
रीजन आपको जिम जाना है विच इज फाइन. बट अगर आप ये बोल रहे हो मतलब इफ यू आर टेस्टिंग इन योर ओन माइंड एंड नॉट बीइंग रियली ट्रू टू योरसेल्फ, दैट्स
True.
वेयर आई थिंक जर्नलिंग मस्ट हैव हेल्प्ड यू और पीपल लाइक मी.
Yes.
आई
Oh yeah, yeah. It helps a
या
lot. I and
या
nobody and we really underplay that particular
ट्रू.
activity. I think it's a very healing tool.
सो
If
ट्रू.
it, if don't do anything but just journal and put your minds, you go back and look at that, you will see and you will reflect better.
सो
I
ट्रू.
think what I would definitely want to tell everyone is, and I've realized this from my own experience, that we're all built differently. अभी क्या हो रहा है ना, we see one reel and we start following it. इंस्टा पे देखा, कहीं पे देखा, किसी से बात की, वो ये करने से अच्छा हो जाता है, let's do this. So I've also done it. I've kept salt water in my house to remove negativity. I've done sage, and they're not bad things; they're right things. But if you're doing all that in the outside world and you're not working internally, it's not going to help.
It's
So I
not
think what happens is that each one of us is built individually. Very
so
unique
true.
pieces we are. We have our own baggage, we have our own family, we have our own culture, values, upbringing, so many people we interact with. अपने internal dramas इतने हैं कि it is not fair to just follow something blindly.
एंड आई थिंक इट्स फाइन. वो ये वाली बात मैं आपको आई वांट टू गिव माय एग्जांपल पीपल से कि आपको अपने पैशन के लिए जॉब छोड़ दो. फॉर मी मेरे लिए हमेशा ऐसे वर्क करा है. आई कैन वर्क फॉर माय जॉब लाइक मंडे टू थर्सडे फ्राइडे एंड आई मुझे लगता है कि मैं जब सैटरडे संडे को कुछ करती हूँ अपने लिए और पीपल अराउंड और समथिंग टू माय पैशन, आई फील मोर गुड वर्किंग ऑन माय जॉब. सो
Yeah,
दिस वर्क्स बेस्ट फॉर मी. नॉट एवरीवन इज लाइक कि मैं अपना सब कुछ छोड़ के पैशन करना चाहता हूँ. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, I thought once, twice, but I was sure that this is not, at least now, this is not going to work for me for another 2, 3 years. So I think
Absolutely.
it's work. हर किसी
I
का
think
different
whatever
opinion.
works for you. So when
Right.
I used to counsel students, na school
Hmm.
students, so their
Hmm.
main उनसे पूछो what do you want to become? Somebody will say I want to play guitar
Hmm.
or I want to be a football player.
Hmm.
But we have to make the child understand that those are not fundamental careers, right?
Hmm.
Those are very out of the league careers. They're
Hmm.
not bad, but
Hmm.
you have to be very cautious and again aware of what you're choosing because that
True.
may not only 1%, 2% will be
Hmm.
very successful.
Right.
So my whole energy would go in explaining them what is a fundamental career, what is a passion driven. Following a passion doesn't mean that you have to, or following a particular fundamental career doesn't mean that you have to stop your passion. You can still
So true.
pursue your passion.
So
So a
true.
lot of times it was like for a child who wanted to do football, I would say, okay, continue playing football. And the parents will get very worried. Oh, no, no, what are you telling him? I said, no, but it's his passion. It makes him happy. So let him do football. But at the same time, let him take some fundamental subjects which will help him maybe be in a sports management field as a
Hmm.
backup option. So the
Hmm.
child also feels, okay, I'm not losing touch. I get it.
Hmm.
So
Right.
there's so many other ways that you can deal. So I'm saying it depends. It's very individualistic and
Individual,
very unique
person to person.
formula. Yeah.
And they're like supposedly I'm doing this podcast. अगर मुझे बोले ना पूरे दिन कोई 2 दिन podcast के लिए, I might not be, but after
Hmm.
work if I'm doing it like after 9, 10 and my work is over, it gives me that energy so that I
Yeah.
can do my work better next day. So if अगर and there are people who can do a podcast like a full time, it doesn't work
Hmm.
for me. So it's
Hmm.
like every person has different ability because
Yeah.
मुझे ऐसा
Yeah.
लगता है कि I won't do justice if I'm completely doing my passion like 100%. So
You
it's
know, when I was
completely
working, I was doing some project and I had to give a presentation. And there
Hmm.
was, I don't know if you remember, but there was this chief of our group from US who was visiting us, and all of us as leaders had to give our presentation on that particular project. So it
Hmm.
was my turn.
Hmm.
And when I started, she realized somewhere, okay, so she stopped me in between, and she said, whenever you are trying to aim for something, so this is in response to what you're saying, that if you want, you can do so much, like you can work and you can pursue your passion. So she told me that don't look at the uh, problems or the roadblocks that you're going, because I was all about these are the risks, these are
Hmm.
right. So she said, don't tell me about the risk, tell me about the stakes. Tell me about what can I get out of it, like what excites me, why should I do this project. So I think
Hmm.
the answer here is that a lot of times habitually we look at what would stop us, like
Hmm.
yeah, office से आता हूँ, थक जाता हूँ, I'm
Hmm.
not able to do it, yeah, gym करना, but there's a way to manage everything if you
So
want to. So it's all
So
about your
true.
will and what you want to really do.
So true. Agreed completely. So yeah, coming back to consulting again. So how is your
Yeah.
journey going now, and what are your plans for? थोड़ा सा हम इधर उधर हो गए, but
Yeah, sure.
completely fine. I think that was needed as well. So
Yeah.
what are your plans, like upcoming plans, and how are things now?
So like I said, I'm a very free-spirited person. Me and Amrinder, we take a project at a time. Because of pandemic, we had little struggle, but our space is also very typical to startups and entrepreneurs. But so we continue to chase and look at clients and see if we can do some good work. But what we did achieve last year, because our workflow was a little low, we wrote a book together on customer experience, and that we're going to launch this month very
Wow.
soon. The book is called Understanding Customer Experience, and that is for anybody, any professional who wants to understand about this topic. They can just pick up the book. It's a very small, 200 pages book, one could read. So that's something which is new that we have done, and I'm very happy because I wanted to author one book,
Wow.
and that's some. I never knew that I would write something on business, but I did end up writing. So that's one I'm doing. Another thing I think I'm going to work a little bit more on my customer experience expertise. I'm going to this next year is all about self love, and this is going to be all about focus on my own self.
Wow.
So it will be about some more certifications in customer experience and increase my credibility in that, and we'll take it from there.
Wow, great. I will be waiting for your book. I'll be the one who will be
Yes,
ordering it first, for sure.
thank
And
you,
will be marketing as much as possible with the podcast.
thank you so
Chabhi.
much.
Thank you so much. And about like any parting note you would want to give as a basically a career counselor mainly. Like how what would be your last notes to anybody who is listening this कि उसके लिए कुछ भी take away हो जाए.
My takeaway is the same. I'm going to repeat myself. Do anything that you want to do. Don't chase something mindlessly. Even from learning perspective, you just pick up any course and we start doing it. Be very mindful of what you're doing, why you're doing it. That's very important. Two, I don't share it because I'm not reading books to bring this out. I share it from my own experience. I have had my own challenges and struggles, and I come with also not just age, but the kind of work that I'm doing, the different spaces I've been in, the number of people that I've spoken to. So that's where I come from, and I think be open to talk about your challenges. I think as it's not okay to always show your strong foot. Like
So true.
if we are weak in certain area, we're not necessarily strong in everything, right? So it is okay to talk about it, and it is okay to go to a coach and
Hmm.
ask for help, even if you have to pay money. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I
Yeah.
I didn't tell you, but I did take a coaching for 3 months.
Hmm.
Just in the beginning, when I was all lost and directionless, I took a coaching for 3 months. But it may not have gotten me where I really wanted to be, but it still helped me in so many other ways. It got me so many other clarities. So I think it is important to keep building yourself. So as a career counselor coach, I would say one, be mindful. Two, focus on your learning and be open to exploring new areas and challenges. Get out of your comfort zone. I think that's very important.
Definitely.
Um, it's okay to say that I need work-life balance and I need this and I need that, but I think it is also okay to accept those challenges and work that much hard, because
So
you
true.
have a great amount of competition in front of you. And be creative. Be
Yeah.
creative. I think you have to start thinking differently. That's the only way you can stand out from your peers.
Hmm.
There's no other way.
So true. So true.
So that's it.
Amazing. I'm बहुत ही मतलब this podcast is like really close to my heart. I've learned myself a lot. So thank you so much, ma'am. And
Thank you, Stuti.
thank you so much for being my guest. I never expected that you would have said yes. I randomly messaged
No,
you, but मुझे लगा नहीं था. But thank you so much for saying
no, no,
yes
no.
and
Anytime. I
giving
love
your
talking.
same
So
here.
दोबारा भी
I
कर लेंगे. No
I think
problem.
in upcoming season we might do about the customer experiences, and after your
We'll
book
do
is
it.
launched, so let's
Yeah.
see what we can do in next season. But yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much, and thanks listener for listening to us. Stay happy, stay
Thank you.
thank you, stay happy, stay blessed, and most importantly, stay grateful. I'll see you another one. Bye.